Okay, Mr. Chairman, we are ready when you are.
Okay, I'd like to call the meeting of the Human Resources and Public Works meeting to order. I'm Commissioner James Marino, participating from my home in Mount Pleasant, Michigan, County of Isabella.
Commissioner Terry Hutchison reporting from my home in Nottawa Township, Isabella County.
I'd like to call to the public. Do we have any public, Nicole?
There is no public at this time, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you. Okay, our first item is consider approving the contract between Lamar Advertising and Isabella County in the amount of $21,450 for electronic billboards advertising, and authorize the board chair to sign the same. Ian, could you break this down for us, please?
Yep, it's the continued advertising that the grant was obviously approved last week. So this will be continuing the billboard ads that have already been running. So there's no interruption in advertising the office. So we have the two electronic billboards, one on Pickard and the one on Mission. So I, from time to time in the morning, see the one on Mission. So hopefully everybody does too, and brings enlightenment to the office, or helps bring people into the foot traffic into the door. So, yep, we'll probably continue to do that move, continue for years on end if it turns out to be continued success.
Okay, that sounds good. Anybody have any more comments or questions about this?
Hey, Ian, I know we talked last week about maybe having veterans get into the doing the wraps and like that. Have we done anything on that or moved forward on that at all?
I can
Do you
answer
want to say
that.
something?
Yeah, go ahead, Administrator.
So we have sent the agreement to our attorney because you have to have waivers from anybody that you do that with. I've received the draft back. I have forwarded it to Jessica of my staff to put it on our letterhead and get that out to all of the elected officials and department heads. So as soon as we get that and Ian gets it and is able to have people sign off and give their authority to do that, then we can start doing that.
Yeah,
I'd also like to
oh,
apologize to the
sorry.
committee for being late. I'm sorry. My technology in my office wouldn't let me get on the call, so I apologize.
All right, understandable.
And we won't get the money until October. So the change for the wraps won't actually happen probably until October or November, something like that. So yeah, we got to get the pictures and everything set up. I think we're going to get some better pictures than the ones I took myself. So yeah, we'll get that as soon as possible.
Okay, if that's all, if there's no other comments, then we need a motion, please.
Yep. Can I make a motion to consider approving the contract between Lamar Advertising and Isabella County in the amount of $21,450 for electronic billboards advertising, and authorize the board chair to sign the same?
Support. It's been moved and supported to forward the item to the work and regular sessions of the county commission next week. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye.
Aye.
Opposed, the same. The ayes carry. The item will be moved to the next meeting of the county commission next meeting. Thank you. Ian.
Have a nice day.
Okay. Our next item is consider approving Region 7 Area Agency on Aging contractual agreement with Isabella County and other required documents for the fiscal year 2022, and authorize the board chair to sign the same. You have Jennifer Crawford here. Could you explain this and break it down, Jennifer, please?
Absolutely. Good morning. This is the fiscal year 22 contract between Region 7 Area Agency on Aging and the Isabella County Commission on Aging. This does represent the 49th year of funding that we will have received with them, which is pretty amazing. So the funding that we receive from Area Agency, this funds both our in-home and our nutrition programs. So they're broken out here. You'll see all the different programs we have under each of them: homemaking, personal care, CCS, which is our social work program, respite care, caregiver training, congregate, and our home delivered meals program in the amount of $224,582. And this amount does represent about 21% of their total budgets for the fiscal year. So it is definitely a very substantial amount. And We hope you'll approve that for us to go forward. This is the third year of a 3-year agreement, but as far as we go, as far as doing anything, it's the same process every single year, no matter if it's the first year, the second year, or the third year. So we will just start all over again next year, and hopefully start a new 3-year, multi-year agreement with them.
Okay, thank you. Any questions or comments on this? Hearing and seeing none, could we get a motion, please?
Yep. Make a motion to consider approving the Regional 7 Area Agency on Aging contract agreement with Isabel County and other required documents for fiscal year 2022 and authorize the board chair to sign the same.
Support. It's been moved and supported to move the item to the regular and work sessions of the county commission next week. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye.
Aye.
Opposed, the same. The ayes carry, and the action will be taken.
Have a great day.
Thank you, Jen.
Two.
Thank you, Jen.
Okay, our next item is consider approving the consulting agreement between Isabella County and Resource Systems Group for the Isabella Wind Project post-construction sound study and authorize the board chair to sign the same. We have Timothy Newport, the director, to break this down for us. Could you do that, Tim, please?
Yeah, sure. Good morning again to everybody. Good morning, Margaret.
Morning.
Yeah, so I apologize for the length of the staff report. It's one of my longer ones. I think it's a 4-pager, but I will summarize. This is part of the process behind the wind energy conservation systems. As you know, wind turbine projects are allowed by special land use under the current zoning ordinance. Section 1205 QQ of the ordinance provides design standards for those. Back in 2018, we received application for a wind project from Apex Clean Energy. On January 31st of that year, conditional approvals were granted. In 2019, both August and September, the project was kind of broke apart. And in August, they reviewed the special use criteria, the site plan review criteria, which includes that 1205 QQ design standards, and made approvals, partial approvals, in both August and September of the entire project. The project got up and running in the fall. They began construction of 2019, and in June 1st of this year, they began producing commercial power. So what we had to do as staff is we kind of had to backtrack all the conditional approvals over the past 3 years to ensure compliance with the ordinance. And one of those items is the post-construction sound study, which is section 1205 QQ 28 of the zoning ordinance. And that section reads as follows here: a post-construction sound study documenting sound pressure level measurement shall be provided to the zoning administrator by a third-party qualified professional selected by the Planning Commission and at the expense of the applicant or owner within 12 months of commencement of the operation of the project. And the post-construction sound study shall be performed as established by the Community Development Department prior to the study. So in June of this past year, we sat down, I sat down with both our project attorney, which is Mr. Fahey, and our project planner consultant, which is Alan Bean of Spicer Group. And we kind of devised a plan on how we were going to go out and seek this third party to bring back as a recommendation to the Planning Commission. And we reviewed our current procurement policy number 410 of the counties, which deals with professional services and those expertises that are required. And obviously in our region, there's not many of these types of sound acoustics people who've done projects as large as this kind of industrial scale turbine project. And so we applied the policy in our professional services and used the procurement policy professional services to send out requests for information to 5 firms. One of them being Acoustics by Design out of Grand Rapids. The second being Robert Anderson Group out of Lansing. The third being Hankert Environmental out of Wisconsin. Fourth was Ken Kaliski of RSG. and fifth was Robert O'Neill of Epsilon in Massachusetts. So once we selected the group that we were going to utilize, our consultant, Spicer Group, went out and spoke to all 5 of those to seek their interest in coming here to Michigan and doing those if they were not from Michigan. And all 5 had expressed some interest. And so therefore a deadline for submittal of proposals was set for August 6th of this past year. We did set and line up a scope items that we wanted in their proposal, which were the scope of work, the proposed schedule, their team and resume and a fee, and then any additional information that they thought qualified them for the project. On August 6th, we did receive back 3 submittals from 3 firms, one being Acoustics by Design, the second being Hankard Environmental, and the third being Ken Kaliske of RSG. In my staff report, you see A through F. There were some criteria that Spicer Group utilized to evaluate those proposals from those firms. And both staff and Spicer Group, Alan Bean of Spicer Group, came to the same conclusion that we would be looking to recommend Ken Kaliske of RSG to the Planning Commission. We looked at the other 2 applications and found basically the Acoustics by Design proposal was just lacking pertinent detail as to their methodology and how they were going to do the work. And the Hankard Environmental was the highest cost project, coming in at $100,000 on the nose. They indicated in their application that they work for Apex and they continue to work for Apex Clean Energy. So we felt also there was a appearance of a conflict there potentially, and so we moved forward in recommending Ken Kaliske of RSG to the Planning Commission. That recommendation went to them on September 9th of 21. And at that time, the Planning Commission agreed and made a motion to move forward with RSG to perform the third-party post-construction sound study and authorized the attorney, Mr. Fahey, to draft the contract and agreement to present to the board for final signatures. Therefore, at this time, I'm basically here just asking for you to review that contract or agreement and authorize the board chair to sign that next week at the board meeting. Financial impact, I just want to talk about this a little bit too. The project is, I think, estimated at a cost of $57,900 by RSG. There are a few other add-ons depending upon what's found in the study that are potential there. But we did, this is completely paid for by the applicant Apex. Apex posted $100,000 at the beginning of the project in 2018. That's been held in escrow, just like all of the fees that we're using for our attorneys and for our consulting. So we already have this money. It's sitting in escrow and it'll be paid from that. This is at no cost to the county at all.
Man, that's quite a lengthy process, wasn't it?
It was. We're not quite there done yet either, but it's going to be. I think I started working on this project with regard to looking at ordinance stuff in about 2015, 16, and we're still probably a year away from the final completion of this process. So it's been a 6-year project basically.
Wow. Any questions or comments on this?
Nope.
Seeing and hearing none, could we have a motion, please?
Sure. Consider approving the consulting agreement between Isabel County and Resource Systems Group Incorporated for the Isabel Wind Project post-construction sound study, and authorize the board chair to sign the same.
Support. It's been moved and supported to move item 6 to the regular and work sessions of the county commission next week. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye.
Aye.
Opposed, the same. The ayes carry. The action will be taken. Okay, thank you. And we have the next item with you, Tim, also, right?
Yes.
Consider approving the property access agreement for Brimwell plugging by Dow Chemical Company and authorize the board chair to sign the same. What do we have here?
Okay, so this is, Dow has been working with Eagle, the Department of Environment, Great Lakes and Energy from the state of Michigan on closing old historic brine wells that date back even to the late 1800s. County Administrator McAvoy had asked me back in March to kind of take this project and get with Mark Siegman of AECOM, who represents or is like I think sort of a sister company to Dow Chemical Company in their research and abandonment and plugging of an old well that's on county property. I took and did a little bit of background. I looked up some information with regard to the project just to see how it was happening. And then Mark and I met on a couple occasions to discuss it. And there was a historic brine well that was identified as the Mount Pleasant 6 Marshall brine well, and it's located on the old abandoned rail grade that's now owned by the county near the material recovery facility. So if you know where the MRF is there on River Road, if you go straight back into that facility all the way to the back, there's an old rail grade that ran through there. And that rail grade extends property that is owned by the county now to the northeast, about 100, I think it's 66 feet each side, so 132 feet wide, all the way from there out to where it kind of tees in to River Road or Industrial Drive that comes out of the Mount Pleasant Industrial Park there, sort of right by the viaducts. It sort of triangles in. So we own that property in there, and that's where on that very east end or northeast end of that is where the actual well is located. I did visit with Mark on a couple occasions, went out to the site on a few occasions to see it. They did get in there and access and actually determine the location and have included that in this access agreement. There's, I believe, a survey of the brine well access agreement area for Isabella County, and there's identification of the well in there as well. The property is identified and known as parcel number 14-001-10-005-01 in Union Township. In the agreement details the plugging and abandonment of that well at Dow Chemicals cost and expense. Again, no cost to us in this. It additionally lays out some compensation for us. They're compensating us for accessing and disturbing some ground getting into the site. They're also in the agreement provides access for Eagle to come in and do inspections because they're working hand in hand with Eagle. And it describes a work plan which includes the restoration on their way out after they've capped this well. We did send this off to Tim Perrone. I sent this to Tim Perrone and of Cole Stoker and Toski. He had one suggestion that wasn't in there, and it was in the work document. Under permits, we had listed a road commission permit and our Eagle permit, and we missed the soil erosion permit that would be the sanitary or soil erosion sedimentation control permitting, which actually happens in my office as well. So we did add that as requested by Mr. Perrone, and he had no other legal objection to the contract. Therefore, at this time, I'm just asking for the board to accept the access agreement for the brine well plugging by the Dow Chemical Company and authorize the board chair to sign the agreement. Again, from a financial impact, as I stated earlier, this is at no cost. Dow Chemical is doing all the work and paying for all the removal of trees, the bringing down of some trees, the accessing and getting into the site, and then the restoration. Included in that agreement is compensation of $4,000 to the county for providing them access.
Wow, what a project. I'm glad it's happening. It's real needed. You sure had to jump through a lot of hoops so to get it done. Any other comments? Go ahead, Margaret.
I would just say this is a huge project for Dow Chemical. They have these brine wells all over. I had no idea until they reached out to me. Gosh, I don't even know how long ago now, maybe 6 months ago or more. I lose track of time in COVID these days, but I serve on a regional board with the executive from Dow who is responsible for this. Like I said, they have these brine wells all over. And so it was a huge help to be able to, turn this project over to Tim because Tim has all the information on location, and if he doesn't have it, can find it on GIS and everything else. So I certainly support this recommendation. It's in the best interest of the community to get this well plugged for safety and other issues.
Right. Any
I
other
did-
Go ahead, Tim.
Yeah, Commissioners, as well, I did pull an article from Eagle State Department. They had a write-up on this when it first came through, just kind of giving some base information in case there were any commissioners that were interested or were wondering what was going on. But it's in 3 counties, over 150 wells that were being closed in those 3 counties. So included as one of the attachments in my staff report is just I think it's a 2-pager article that was found online between Eagle and Dow Chemical Company and that cooperative agreement to close these brine wells.
Okay, thank you. Any other questions or comments? Seeing none, then could we get a motion on this, please?
Consider approving the property access agreement for brine well plugging by the Dow Chemical Company and authorize board chair to sign the same.
Support. It's been moved and supported to move item 7 to the work and regular session of the county commission next week. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, the same. The ayes have it. The action will be taken on this item. Thank you, Tim.
Thank you guys for your time this morning and have a great day.
You too.
You too. Okay, our last item is consider adopting Isabella County Board of Commissioners Resolution number 21-10-01, Community Mental Health for Central Michigan, and authorize the board chair to sign the same. I remember the Central Michigan Mental Health District referring to this resolution. Can you help us out here,
Yes.
Madam Administrator?
Yes, sir, I will be happy to. John, the CEO, sends his apology. If you remember, he was at our meeting last week, our commissioners meeting. He sends his apology. He already had an appointment scheduled with the Gladwin County Commissioners this morning. I'd like to read this email to you briefly, if I may, just
Sure.
for your information. This is from him. I can say with confidence that the template of the resolution was crafted with input from the Community Mental Health Board members to highlight proven community mental health results against the proposed loss of local control of Medicaid dollars. We cannot give away local control to Medicaid health plans who have a track record of keeping 21% of every dollar. We need to ensure that maximum funding gets targeted to meet the needs of Central Michigan communities, and that has been accomplished through the voices of county commission appointees to the Central Michigan Mental Health Board. If there are any questions that arise, he'll be happy to respond. I would get him those if you had. He says that he is grateful that the county commissioners see the value of preserving the authority they already hold. So obviously, he's asking for and recommending approval of the resolution.
Okay.
That's a
Mm.
lengthy
ahead.
resolution.
Pardon me, Terry? Pardon me, Mr. Hutchinson?
It's a lengthy resolution.
It is a lengthy resolution, and it's more lengthy once we get it in our format too. So I think that,
Oh, yeah, see that.
this is what came from Community Mental Health, and all we did was put it in our format. We did not change any of the content.
No, I agree with all of it. So
It is
Me too.
lengthy.
Yeah, it's a pretty important issue, and it's one that's recurring. And I'm hoping that with combined resolutions from all the counties that they touch, that this will be effective. And I know there's several other large organizations that are speaking out against this to the committee that was handling these 2 bills. Okay. There's no other comments or questions. Could I get a motion, please?
Yep, motion to consider adopting the Isabel County Board of Commissioners Resolution number 21-10-01, Community Mental Health for Central Michigan, and authorize the board chair to sign the same.
Support. It's been moved and supported to move the resolution to the regular and work session of the county commission next week. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, the same. The ayes carry. The resolution will be forwarded to the next meetings of the county commission next week. Okay. Anybody else have anything else to add at this time?
No?
There is no public comment at this time, Mr. Chairman.
Okay, thanks for that. And if that's the case, I will adjourn this meeting of the Public Works and Human
Thank you,
Resources Committee.
commissioners. Have a great day. Stay healthy.
Okay, you
Yep.
too.
Thank
Bye-bye.
you.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Hey, Nicole, is it okay just to leave? Will it end it on my end?
You can leave. It's not ending yet. We have to wait those 20 seconds.
Thank you.